very much work hard, play hard. Why are medical students so annoying? Again, wow, we're getting a bit roasted here. Notoriously, medical students have a lot of debt. How do medical students study? Pressure can either crush you or it can breed diamonds. So that's what it is. Hello and welcome back to Meducation Nation. I'm a fourth year medic at Imperial College London, and today I'm going to be answering Google's most asked questions about medical students. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let's get into the video. First question, medical students. Okay, so medical students COVID vaccine. So medical students, particularly those that are on placements, are at increased risk of contracting coronavirus, obviously because they are in a clinical environment, and as such, they do get the COVID vaccine to help protect them. Well, at least they do at Imperial, and I imagine it's going to be a similar practice across all other universities, as it's important that they protect themselves, but moreover that they protecting their families as well, because the vaccine has shown to reduce transmission rates as well. Next question is medical students COVID. Unfortunately, there inevitably are going to be a few medical students that have contracted COVID, and that is as a consequence of being in and around the clinical environments. I remember back in the first lockdown in the UK at least, medical placements for my year, so I was in third year, were actually suspended to help mitigate against this risk. However, we are going to have to make up for those lost placements. It's a GMC requirement, and so we have an extra placement that we're going to have in about July time or June to make up for that lost time. Medical student graduate early. That probably refers to the fact that medical school is a long slog. It's about 6 years or 5 years if you aren't intercalating, which means that you take a year out and do an extra degree. And if it is post-grad, I believe that's another 4/5 years. And I know that's the system in the US and many other countries. It's probably before like 9-10 years before you're even at the very bottom of the food chain in terms of qualified doctors, and then it's going to be more time until you qualify through the ranks. However, what I would say is the fact that medical school being 6 years may sound extremely daunting at first. I remember, at school, everyone was like, oh, you're doing medical school, that's 6 years, that's so long. But honestly, before you know it, 4 years have already gone by, and most other courses nowadays are about 4 years. And it takes a lot of time to find a job for those that have qualified at the end of 4 years. Finding a job is basically a full-time job in and of itself. And what actually tends to happen is you enter work pretty much at the same time as most of your friends, because they've spent a lot of time trying to find a job, trying to find a work. And especially in today's environment where jobs are less available because of the economic impacts of coronavirus, a lot of people aren't going to find jobs straight off the bat. And the good thing with medicine is you qualify and you're pretty much straight away in a job, pretty much guaranteed for life. So 6 years may seem like ages, but especially for those doing law conversions or going on to do PhDs or even the 4-year courses, it really isn't that much longer. So let's type in, why are medical students, let's see what we've got. Why are medical students so arrogant? Wow, that's the first thing that comes up. Hopefully that's not the case. It's not that you become a doctor and you're arrogant. It's like you're that type of person. As in everyday life, you will have some arrogant people. It's not that being a doctor makes you arrogant. And in fact, most of the medical professionals that I've met, and also my medical student colleagues, very, very humble, very down to earth, honestly some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And so that does surprise me to an extent. However, I can see the image painted in terms of the media, in terms of some hotshot young doctor, cardiothoracic surgeon, bit cocky, got the muscles and whatnot. So I can see maybe in the films and stuff, maybe how that perception is sort of painted. However, honestly, they are the nicest, most humble people that I've met. Majority, 99% of them. Why are medical students so annoying? Again, wow, we're getting a bit roasted here, a bit of a bad rep. But again, I believe it's just down to the person. It's not that all medical students are annoying. It's just down to the person, your personality. And again, it's also a matter of perception. What some people find annoying, other people's may find entertaining. Why are medical students so competitive? Now, this is a juicy question. I myself would say I'm a very, very competitive individual. And I believe, why medical students are so competitive is just the fact that getting into medicine in and of itself is a very, very competitive process. And, you've got to have that want and will to win in order to get there, I believe. So, that's why, just the selection process is very competitive. And naturally, because of that selection process, the people within medicine are going to be very, very competitive. And, most medical students, they want to just get the best out of themselves. And, they want to do the best they can, be the best. And that's just, our mindset, And also, just the way the system is laid out. At the end of the day, medical students get ranked 1 to the very bottom of the year, and that decides what medical placements they are going to get, whether you get a nice cushy London job or you're literally in the back ends of nowhere in Wales, and you have to drive an hour and a half into some rural bad roads. So just the process and the nature and the environment that you're in is also very, very competitive. And naturally, as they say, pressure can either crush you or it can breed diamonds. So that's what it is. And what medical students study, this is again a very, very good question. We study a range of subjects from anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, how drugs work. So we basically have to have a very thorough and wide understanding of the body and how it works and how it reacts to certain drugs and how different diseases can affect the body and how to spot them. So that's the great thing about what we study is one day of medical school never really looks the same. You're always learning something different and you're always doing something different, and that really reflects the career. Not one day of medicine is going to be the same. It's all going to be very, very different. You get different patients, different cases. So it's a very, very varied career, and honestly, that's probably one of the main reasons I went into medicine is just the fact that you're not going in 9 to 5, same routine, same day. It's mixed up. Okay, welcome back, guys. So it's now dark outside. We had a little battery run out issue, but it is what it is. Let's move on. Okay, so now moving on to the final question. How is medical student life? So what I would say for this question is medical student life is very much work hard, play hard. Amongst the majority of medical students, in that we work hard at times. Of course, we have to in order to get our exams done, whether it's coursework or whether it's practical exams or whether it's written exams. We do have to get our heads down at times. However, we also have to blow off our steam. We also have to stay relaxed, as otherwise you will just get burnt out. So very much amongst the majority, we have a very much work hard, play hard lifestyle, as work-life balance is key to both medical students and when you are qualified as a doctor. Okay, so next question is, how do medical students pay for your living expenses? Now this is a very, very good question, as notoriously medical students have a lot of debt. And essentially, how it works is for the first 4 years of your degree, you get something called a student loan. Now, the student loan will cover your tuition fees, which in the UK is about £9,000 a year. And you'll also get something called a maintenance grant, which essentially that covers your living expenses. So, accommodation, food, etc., etc. So that's essentially, how we pay for our living expenses. And then once you get past year 4, you have a number of, schemes and scholarships as well, such as the NHS bursaries, transport gets subsidized. So there are a whole range of things in place to support medical students. However, I won't lie to you, there could always be some more. Okay, how do medical students study? Now this is probably a very, very good question. Purely because medical students notoriously have to memorize and assimilate large amounts of information and store it within their brains in order to pass their many exams. So how exactly do they study? Now, after talking to a number of my peers, what seemingly is the best and most effective revision strategy amongst us all is active recall. Spaced repetition, active recall, where essentially gone are the days of passively writing notes, highlighting, and just reading through your notes. Now what we're doing is we're using more active revision processes where we're trying to learn the information and recall the information, and we want to repeat that process over and over again. Now the way in which you can do this varies, so you can do it via flashcards, you can do it via written flashcards, whether it's online flashcards such as Anki or Brainscape. Some individuals also, they tend to write notes and then sort of just active recall their notes. There are a number of different ways in which you can practice active recall. However, this seems to be the most common way of learning amongst most successful medical students. So that pretty much wraps up the answering Google's most asked questions about medical students. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button. When you guys hit the like button, it really fires me up, and obviously subscribe as well. And comment down below if you have any other questions or if you want me to make a part 2. Education Nation over and out. Peace.